You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Screw your freedom.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. For all you new subscribers, I'm glad you are here, especially those who made their way to Patreon, patreon.com, the Prepared Mind channel there, where we have a massive whopping subscription rate fee of $2 a month, 7 cents a day. Who doesn't want to do that? And it supports the channel and what we're doing here in this message. And I'm in Studio B, folks. Monday, it is time to get into it. They are telling us, they're practically telegraphing. They may as well send a message to the front door saying, this is what's coming in 2022. You think Shit It's the Fan was bad? Oh yeah, 2020, right out the gate with all their BLM and Antifa crap, the violence on top of the lockdowns and all the other bullshit, that was bad. I think 2022 is going to top it, folks. Here they come. And the reason why, see, they used the violence of 2020 to try and discredit Trump, distract everyone while they were playing some sneaky games, getting ready for November. That's right, folks. The November event. You can do your own thinking there, right? What happened in November of 2020? Oh, yeah. What's coming in 2022? We have another November event. We have an election coming up in November in 2022. And there's a reason that they're going to need to have a massive event, folks. The big enchilada coming in 2022 is going to be another way to distract us, right? To scare us, to use fear in the United States of America. The U.S. government out of Washington, D.C. needs fear to push their agenda. The Great Reset, the destruction of the United States of America, the arson, burning of our Constitution and our rights. They need a big event, folks. What have they been pushing for years? They've been pushing right-wing violence, right-wing fear and destruction and death. And oh my God, the right wing, the KKK, Nazis, white supremacists, bullshit is what they've been pushing. They haven't had it, folks. They haven't had it. They did the violent protest on January 6th and are blaming the violence on the peaceful Trump protesters who were there, who had agents provocateur in the crowd, who saw federal agents, who saw Antifa, who saw people, folks, who were right there on camera but didn't get arrested. Meanwhile, grandma is arrested, veterans are arrested, who did nothing more than walk across the threshold, right? They needed that to be right-wing violence and an insurrection. It's failed in the minds of the American people, but the media pushes it, the politicians push it, and they want you to go, what? Oh, I guess I'll be afraid. It didn't work. Americans are not afraid of us. Well, you know, some liberals, the sheep in the pen, they're afraid. They're afraid of you and me. And we're like, what? We're parents who want our kids to be taught math, arithmetic, literature, science, history. You guys want to teach them BJs and how to shoot up, and it's okay to cut off your genitals. In fact, it's all promoted, right? That's not education, folks. The left wants to politically program your kids. Parents want their children to learn. But that's what, that's what the left wingers are afraid of, is parents. Oh my God, they're domestic terrorists. That failed. That was just asinine, folks. But that's how fucking stupid the left is. This is how desperate they are, folks. The people at the top, the Davos, banking cartel, aristocrat, elites, they are desperate to destroy America. And they're trying with the economy. They're trying socially. They're trying educationally. They're trying militarily. They're getting it done. But the people at the very top, are desperate. And what they've done so far is not moving fast enough. As stated in previous broadcasts and at the behest or express, hey, look, John, it's gotten faster. You guys have showed how the acceleration has just been off the charts. It's like they aren't leaving anything to guess. Every sector, they are just pounding us, folks, in this direction of America sucks and being normal sucks and being white sucks. And the Constitution, you don't have any rights. And there's limits to the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is archaic. The government is all powerful. You people have no say in anything. Elections are for losers. Literally, they want to make elections for losers. They want to give them all the power and take away yours. Woo! A lot of fun, folks. You've got to love the satire. I want to be careful, right? I want you guys to know. I want to let everyone know it. The context of this show.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
The things I have to say, folks, in order to stay on here with you guys. Now, let's continue with the premise that there's bad guys on the planet. The premise that they're very powerful, very wealthy, like the bad guys in James Bond or Austin Powers or every other movie where it's like, who are these nefarious, uber rich people? Well, how did they get that rich? Where did they get all their wealth? Where did they get the megalomaniacal idea that they can control the whole planet? Through graft, extortion, corruption, and bribes and payouts and blackmail. Where did they get that idea that that works? Those things work because they've always worked, especially, folks, with elected and even appointed officials who move into a position and then they start getting a little bit of payola. For those who are old, you'll know what payola is. Let's move on, though. These evil people are there, and they've had this idea, and they've been working on this a long time. As George H.W. Bush said, right? The long-held vision of a new world order. That's right, Mr. 1,000 Points of Anal Light, that guy. That guy, right? We've been working on this a long time, folks. We need our new world order here. I'm George H.W. Bush, President of the United States. That guy. He came out and started talking about the New World Order, and people went, what? Huh? That was like 1988. Welcome to reality, folks. It ain't pretty. Right? It ain't pretty. And here we are. Here we are. What am I talking about? A big, big 2022 event. They're not scaring people with Cerveza bug. They're trying. Oh, my God. It is the unicorn variant. Now they have the Delta unicorn variant. They're saying that the Delta screwed the unicorn, and now it's one together. Oh my God, it's the most, and it's the most, and it's the scariest, and it's still not working. But they're going to push it. You see, the government is pretending like we're scared and going, you better lock down. You better not cry. You better get Jim Jones jabbed. I'm telling you why, right? Because Dr. Drippy Faucet's coming to town, and you better do as he says, because their patience is wearing thin, right? And you no longer have a choice. Oh, they respect your freedom, but they know that they have to be responsible. They're going to be responsible for you because you aren't responsible enough, and they're going to keep pushing that narrative, folks. But I don't think it's enough. I think they see that they're going to meet serious resistance because they got all the easy people onto their Jim Jones juice, and they're done. I mean, they can keep juicing the fuck out of these people going, you need to get more booster juice. You need more booster juice. You need to get more of that stuff. But people who haven't taken her like, you know what? You can fuck off. We don't need your shit. You know, I'll go take my Fred Flintstone multivitamin with my kids and I'll be just fine. Thank you so much. So how are they going to scare you? How are they going to fundamentally change America, as Barack Hussein Obama said? How's that going to happen? Folks, Go back to 9/11. Terror. Real terror. You see, back then, they needed to get into these countries. They needed a war. And they got one, didn't they? So this happened, 9/11. Planes into buildings. Planes into the Pentagon. Never mind all the conspiracy shit, folks. Never mind that. Let's just set that aside. What was the net result? The people were afraid. The people were afraid. The government took that opportunity to create a more powerful set of rules that they could operate under. Right? The Patriot Act, the NDAA came about as a result of the psychological damage and fear created by 9/11. They're going to need another big event because I don't think America and the world are going to tolerate this unicorn bullshit, this cerveza hysteria that they're continuing to pile on. Now, oh yeah, New York City, San Francisco, Portland, SeaTac, oh yeah, Chicago, Michigan, all of these northern wacko leftist areas, they're going to keep pushing it. They're going to lock their people down. They're going to demand they take the juice. And the mainstream media will not, folks, cover all the schools that are refusing, all the police that are refusing, all the doctors that are refusing. They're not going to talk about the rural country red states that are like, you know what? F you. We're not doing it. They're not going to cover that. The media, folks, and I'm in an area that is incredibly conservative. Thank God. I'm in that area and I watch the news, like the local broadcast shit, ABC, NBC, CBS, and I scratch my fucking head. The news people are acting like everyone on the street is just fucking falling over and dying. I'm like, dude, have you stepped outside? It is not 2020. No one's buying it. They're running around without masks. They're spinning fucking things, woo, 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 right? Fucking party poppers and shit. Everyone's having a good time. The news people are acting like, right, the fucking aliens have landed and they're zapping people with ray guns. That fear is not working. So what are they going to do? Well, I think I see what is coming. Certainly a big potential, right? A big potential of what is coming. Back in December 5th, there was a bizarre rally that was held in Washington, D.C. Some U-Haul trucks showed up. They popped open the back and out popped a bunch of jackass in the boxes. They were wearing khakis, that is beige Dockers, right? Beige pants. They're wearing boots with beige pants. And this clown parade grabbed American flags on short poles and they marched in Washington, D.C., folks. It was really strange because everyone looked around and went, who are these guys? Who are these people? Right? They marched to the Lincoln Memorial and then they marched back to their trucks, got in, shut the door, and drove off. The media covered it. Right-wing group, right? Right-wing group shows up. Oh my gosh. And they're called the Patriot Front. I've never heard of it. You think that a guy like me would hear of this from somebody? Yeah, now, granted, I'm not everywhere. Granted, the Prepared Mind Network covers at least 80,000 people and quite possibly more. How many people are out there, folks, that don't subscribe to anything? They're just trying to be anonymous and stay out of the way. You bet. But all of you 80,000 that are subscribers here, all of you know people who aren't. But they'll talk to you and give you evidence. Family members, friends, coworkers, they're part of the network and they don't even realize it. That's how powerful you are. You gather information. You assimilate it, you pass it on. We're a huge network. You think we would have heard of this fucking group, right? So that was December 5th. That was December 5th. Well, guess what? They are back this weekend. First weekend after the start of 2022 in Chicago. The Patriot Front is back wearing their Dockers, their khakis. They're all wearing jackets that are either black or dark blue, right? The navy blue jackets with hoods. They're all wearing hats and, of course, things to cover their face. Why would they be protesting in D.C.? Oh, yeah, because they want D.C., the federal government, to see how powerful they are. Why are they in Chicago? What are they protesting in Chicago? They protesting that Mayor Lightfoot, Lori Beetlejuice Lightfoot, is doing a poor job, right? Who is this group? They've got money for that. They're going to show up en masse in Chicago to peacefully march. Oh, by the way, they showed up in vehicles this time, not U-Hauls. But every one of them had their license plates covered. Where were the police? Why weren't they ticketed for covering their license plates, which is illegal? Illegal to cover your plate. Well, I guess maybe if you're a federal agent or a federal contractor, you're allowed to do such things. You know, I guess if you put a bunch of people in the back of a truck, a U-Haul truck, shut the door, you're a coyote transporting humans secretly, clandestinely, right? Which used to be illegal until President Biden took over, you know, across the old southern border. But now it's just fine, you know, transporting humans in the back of a fucking U-Haul and then allowing them to show up to another protest with their license plates covered. Why do they have that right? I'm going to call it a right. Well, let's just be honest. It's a privilege. It's a special privilege. What they want to do is scare America, folks. They want to scare America. This group, the Patriot Front, their propaganda looks like communist propaganda. The fonts, the pictures, they're calling for revolution. Who are these people, folks? I would have heard about them through military sources, through militia sources, through Patriot Party group sources, anything, folks. But their fonts, their material, it looks like communist propaganda. Because it is. That's all communists understand. No patriot in America thinks that covering their face is a good idea. Number one, masks don't work. Don't fucking cut off my oxygen supply. Number two, hiding identity, that's what criminals do. That is what bandits have done. That is what communists do. That is what Antifa does. And they've done it, folks, for over 100 years, covering their faces as they do their nefarious work. They're pushing it, folks. They're going to have a big false flag event. They're going to want to make you as patriots. That's why it's called the Patriot Front, right? That's what they want. They want the word patriot once again made dirty, right? They need the Patriot Front to represent patriots, patriotism, veterans, right? Constitutionalists. So they've got this group out there wearing khakis. Who else wears khakis? Who else wears boots with khakis? Who else wears these corporate jackets and hats? Well, everyone should remember Blackwater, right? I think it's Eric Prince's mercenary groups and corporations. They were seen at the Boston bombing, folks, in their khakis with their boots and their hats with the Punisher style emblem on it. They were seen there coordinating, working with folks. That's what these assets, government agents, government subcontractors do. And they don't care where they do their dirty work. What the fuck do they care? They're getting their money. They're getting their money. So what are they up to now? Well, they've shown up twice now. December 5th and then January 8th, 9th. They showed up for that this weekend. And did they commit acts of violence? No. Did anything explode? No. What did they do? They're trying to establish themselves with the mainstream media that the Patriot Front are a bunch of right-wing Americans. They want to paint them as Trump supporters, as conservatives, as patriots. How many times will the Patriot Front make their ridiculous appearance en masse and no one knows who they are? How many times, folks, before a serious act of violence is committed using these mercenaries? They're dressed like the mercenaries I've seen over the years. Their faces, folks, even though their nose down is covered, even though their forehead up is covered, look at their eyes. These are not the eyes of wild-eyed communist children and Antifa. Look at their eyes. Look at the expression their eyes have. They are very much following orders. They're under orders. They're calm. They're certain. Their eyes tell you a great deal, folks. Talk to any policeman or sheriff's deputy that's been around. The eyes tell you a lot about what someone's intentions are, level of training, competence, awareness. You bet, folks. The eyes say an awful lot. They do. You can look. I'm looking at their eyes once again in this picture here, and it's not good. It is not good what these people are going to be up to. My prediction is that as part of 2022, this group, the Patriot Front, is going to commit an act. Now, there was some other work done. The size of KKK members, the size, and we're talking belly and waist, of the average patriotic veteran and American. Right? They're fat, we're old, our hips are wide. The average waist of these Patriot Front guys was 34 inches. Right? That means what? They're young. Yet all of their propaganda, their shields, their flags, their paperwork that they distributed while on scene and made available, professionally done, professionally created. And why would the Patriot Front need to march with shields? Why would they need that? I mean, I can see them pretending to be patriotic with flags, but why do they need these USA type patriotic shields as they march? What do they need shields and protection from if they're just having a peaceful march? You see, Antifa likes to come out with shields. Patriots don't do that. Some of them I know had their shields to go battle, literally do battle with Antifa during some riots a few years ago. But in truth and in general, peaceful protesters don't need shields. So they're trying to make them look organized. They're trying to make them, folks, look right-wing. They're trying to make them look like they're on the verge of violence. They're all young. They're all trained. They're all equipped. They all dress like mercenaries. They have no point of reference in the entire argument. Where is the group of young, that is 20 to 25-year-old patriot, politically active people? Where's their group based out of? Where do they meet? How do they recruit? What are they doing? They don't say. But if you look at their propaganda, it's all communist styled and professionally done for them. These are some serious, organized, young Republicans out of college, don't you think? Who are well funded and have the ability to travel around the country and make these odd political statements with their political rallies. I'm going to tell you again, I think it is to paint patriots as this. This is what the mainstream media needs, folks. They need a militant right-wing group to point at and say they are a threat, they are violent. The mainstream media needs that so they can scare the American left and convince the American political right that this is wrong. You should not be like these people. What are you doing? These people are on your side. You're scum. You're bad. But what is going to come next, folks? is what bothers me the most. Not just using bullshit lies and propaganda to scare America. This group, the Patriot Front, is going to be used to paint patriots not only as bad, not only as a potential threat, but as a real violent terror group. At some point, I think these people are going to be turned loose sometime late in spring, early summer, before the election, because once again, they need to paint Republicans, conservatives, as gun-toting, wild-eyed, fanatical murderers, terrorists. They're going to need to paint them like that. They're going to, yeah. Remember, folks, these same types of people that work for the government, that have no problem, folks, making other people look right. They were planting pipe bombs on January 6th. For some reason, that failed. I bet they would have loved bombs to go off on January 6th, 2021. That would have really made the patriots who were peacefully protesting, the fat, old, out-of-shape, flag-wearing Trump supporters of January 6th, 2021, it would have made them look very bad. As it was, the media and the politicians and the bad guys used that event to maximum potential. And as evidence of that, they got Liz Cheney and her daddy going to Washington, D.C. to be part of their January 6th committee to investigate the anti-American, yada, 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 terror that was worse than Pearl Harbor and worse than 9/11. What a disgusting lie and an abuse of the lives lost and the meaning behind those things. To try and say January 6th was worse than them, was like them. But, right, they did it. They painted American patriots as bad. And now we have the Patriot Front. It's made 2 appearances. They dress, act, are supported by, their propaganda looks like everything is bullshit. It's stage managed. It is plastic banana, good time, rock and roll setup for real patriots, real Americans, real constitutionalists. This is going to be, folks, in my opinion, the group that is used to instigate violence against Americans and to cause government to say, we can't have guns anymore. We have to start arresting people. They're going to tell people on the street, regular Americans, through the news media, see something, say something. Snitch on your neighbors. Who around you is one of these patriots? Who do you think they could be? I think it's coming, folks, because they need to paint Republicans, conservatives, Trump supporters, patriots, veterans. They need to paint them as bad, evil, terrorists, and have the American public afraid. Once again, you have to have fear. You introduce the group, Patriot Front. You introduce their message. Revolution is tradition. It's really what it says, folks. I'm looking at one of their banners. America, revolution is tradition. No, it isn't. No. It's not, well, it's not traditionally done like on a yearly basis. It happened in 1776, right? Revolution is tradition. Unbelievable what they're trying to do. They're creating this group. They're going to march them out, I think, several more times. The media can run with it. They have an act of violence committed by this group that's so bad, so big, so nasty. Whether it's real or whether it's fake blood and smoke and mirrors and smoke bombs and noisemakers and flashbang grenades, all done in full view of cameras, so it can be televised across the nation to scare little old ladies and little old men and children who have been told, oh my God, these right-wing people are horrible. Look at what they're doing. They're finally coming out. They're finally violent. They're finally showing us who they are. They're going to want to portray you, folks, God-fearing, peace-loving, true patriots in America. They want to portray you as bad to affect the election, maybe to cancel the election. They want to scare America so America will believe that it's time to get rid of our Second Amendment, our First Amendment. It is coming, folks. SHTF is not about It's not just about fuel shortages. It's not just about empty grocery shelves. It's just not about inflation and the destruction of our currency. It's not just about the inability to travel unless you let someone stick their finger in all of your orifices at the airport. It's about being free, period. And the government needs to take big steps to get there. They have their agenda and plans, folks. And the government, remember, is not just a government. The government is an organization, and all organizations have a control system, structure, hierarchy. Government is set up to be controlled through hierarchy, presidents, vice presidents, committees, bureaucracy, workers, doers. It's set up. It is a pyramid of control. And if that organization, rather than calling it a government, why don't we call it a controlled organization that we think we elect and we control, is not in fact being controlled by us, but this top-down controlled organization that has both police and military, and has command and control structure set up with communications. It controls communication, electricity, fuel, food. It controls all of that, or can take control of it. Government, that organization. If it, in fact, is controlled and directed by those that sponsor and support it by individually paying off government members, especially those at the top of the hierarchy, then they control the agenda, they control the direction, they make the decisions for them and say, it is time now to activate Patriot Front. It is time now to make Patriot Front commit an act of great terror. It is time now for the government to go after all patriots under the guise that they're part of Patriot Front, because they've scared America, they've killed Americans, an event has occurred. Folks, is this the script for some dystopian movie about the fall of America? Or is this our world right now in 2022? Right? I've talked on this subject for over half an hour now, because I want you to understand what I have been thinking about, what information has been provided to me, opinions, thoughts, pictures, ideas. This is a big part of 2022, in my opinion, for purposes of scaring people, fear, control, for purposes of distracting us over the election, over all other government efforts to destroy America. They're going to need a big enchilada, folks. Is it going to be a tactical nuke? Is it going to be an asteroid? Is it going to be aliens? Or is it going to be something that we've seen already? Right? Agents provocateur, false groups. The FBI, by the way, has shown us how willing they are to infiltrate patriot groups, left-wing groups, and then, of course, blame everything on right-wingers. But they have been known to infiltrate. Why not create their own group? You bet, folks. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't the FBI just create their own group full of FBI agents, hide their identities, allow them to do this, create propaganda for them, a look, a name, the Patriot Front. The word front is so fucking communist, so Nazi-like, it's incredible. They're going to use that. Unbelievable, folks. They're hijacking the word patriot again, the same way they did in the 1990s. And they need to have an event. At the very least, they want to kill the idea that being a patriot is good, even though the government has the Patriot Act. At the very least, they want to put down any resistance by making them look evil and nefarious for being associated with any concept of being patriotic. There's going to be some big events happening in 2022. I think this may be the biggest one, because it involves not only conservatives, it involves not only our Constitution, it involves not only our right to free speech, to gather, to protest, it involves the Second Amendment if they get violent. I think this is going to be a big push against our rights, our nation. Get your head together, get your act together, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and of course, your means of self-defense. Get ready for violence, folks. Is it going to be like Kazakhstan, Afghanistan? Is it going to be like Paris, Germany, London? What is America going to look like? Or is it going to bow under the knee and the boot the way Australia has? And just give up and allow yourselves to be locked up and have your rights taken from you because you know unicorns are out there. Unbelievable, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi. Godspeed.